Hi there, it's Sarah from Inspire Tarot. Welcome to the channel. Let's see what message Spirit has for us today. The Two of Cups. Beautiful. The Two of Cups card is all about a healthy partnership. And we want to have a healthy partnership with absolutely everybody. So it could relate to a romantic relationship, or it could just be a healthy partnership between you and your child, or you and your parent, or you and a random stranger in the street. So the Two of Cups, yeah, it's just all about being respectful and kind and looking for the joint connection. And we know that we all join together in love, that we're all divine essence at our core. And whenever we have an interaction with another person, we're always looking at finding that common ground, that love and acceptance. And this can take many different forms, and we need to be guided by the Spirit really in every single transaction about how it'll play out. We know that however it does play out, it will feel good when we follow the Spirit. Quite often when we're on our awakening journey, we can want to we get excited about these new teachings that we learn about non-duality, and then we want to share it with everybody, but not everybody's ready for it, and it can feel quite upsetting when you're excited about something and you share it. But quite often what we don't realise when we share things is our motivation is to get validation, is to have someone else approve or get on the same page. And we can understand why we would want that, because we want to connect, but we then don't want to cut somebody off or think less of them if they don't see things the same way. It's remembering that love is the common denominator, and we need to love. When I first came across the teachings of A Course in Miracles, the first lesson is nothing I see means anything. And when I read it, the Spirit also put into my mind, nothing I see means anything but love. And essentially that kind of felt like that was all I needed to know for the whole course. I could have just shut the book. Because it speaks volumes. And I think lots of things are repeated in the course, reminding us that we just need to be reminded over and over that cause is in the mind and effect is in the world, and it's not the other way around. We're so used to feeling small and disempowered. So we use our relationships to connect and to learn. And the Two of Cups signifies any connection where we have a holy encounter with another human being. I know, I think there is a line in the course where it says that we should always leave somebody better than when we found them. And I do like to live by that. Obviously it doesn't always work, or it may not always work in the moment. It may be, sometimes we have situations where we think something played out not well, or we feel as if we were maybe a bit harsh with somebody. And then we can guilt ourselves about it. And then later on we can be told, oh, actually, I really needed that kick up the bum today. Thank you. So, yeah, I think sometimes being authentic can trump being our soft and gentle self. Sometimes we need to be tough with ourselves and tough with the truth. And the Course talks about true empathy. And this is another thing that comes up with this card. True empathy is where you see someone as their higher self. You don't see them in their seemingly weakened state or from your own weakened perspective. You just see everything as a story that's playing out, and it's nothing more than a story. And don't fall into the self-pity, because it does say in the Course that you can't help people by dropping down into the muck and sharing in the problem with them. You've got to lift them out of it in your mind. Well, that doesn't necessarily mean that you would discount the things that they were saying. You would just respond as the Spirit prompts you. But yeah, so every situation, every interaction we have with another human being is an opportunity to find the common ground and to find the oneness and enjoy it. And then when you walk away from the transaction, you have a smile on your face, and you know that you've done what God wants you to do, which is just to love everyone and everything. And it is a good feeling, of course, because unity is a good feeling. It's what we're all after. Seven of Swords. So the Seven of Swords is a card about deception and theft, and avoidance, where we're avoiding our feelings, our confrontation. And this will definitely come up whenever we have a connection with someone else. If we're tempted to tell a little white lie to make someone feel better, or protect ourselves from something. We don't want to upset the other person, but really we hide our own light in order to be seen as accepted by the other person. And then when we hide from ourselves, the universe, hide from ourselves and hide from others, the universe has a way of correcting that. Any sneakiness is always going to come to the surface. It's going to be dredged up. And that's the good thing about the Seven of Swords cards, that the Spirit doesn't want us to hide. The Spirit knows that hiding in lies and sneakiness is not good, and that we're safe to be authentic, because we only need to trust in the Spirit. And if we seem to experience challenges with other people, then we need to bring it back to our own mind, because we're always misperceiving, and it's always an opportunity whenever something doesn't feel good to look at ourselves. So yeah, I think the Seven of Swords card is a powerful card to look at. It's not always comfortable, but we do need to look at the ways that we have like resentment towards other people, and we push our own issues out onto them. So we may see a mistake in them or something that they're doing that we think is not good, and we need to flip it back on ourselves and see, where am I doing that to them, or where am I doing that to myself? So yeah, the Seven of Swords card kind of aligns with the Devil card a little bit, and then it really redirects us back to the mind, back to ourselves, and where we're not being congruent, where our thoughts and our actions are not aligned. And if we were to tell a lie or hide, then we've got to carry that complexity around with us and always remember it. Whereas if we're transparent all the time, then we just feel set free. There's nothing, we're not hiding from anything. And I think quite often we can tell little white lies or not speak up, but then we regret it afterwards. And the Spirit would never shame us for doing that, but would always want us to see that we don't need to do that. We don't need to hide, and that we have the right to be ourselves. And when we're not looking for that external validation, or we don't need somebody else to agree with us, then it doesn't matter. As long as we can reconcile with ourselves, that's all that matters. The Ace of Cups. The Ace of Cups is a card about new beginnings, about emotional growth and awakening, purifying the mind. It could be a new creative opportunity or a new opportunity to connect with somebody. But yeah, it's a gift. It's a gift that can seem fleeting, and one that we should take when it comes up. So opportunities like this are being presented to us all the time. And if we have a prayer for a new connection or a new project or something to get our teeth into, then the Spirit will bring it in for us. And the Ace of Cups is just a really strong sign that, yes, this is for us. It's a yes card and an exciting new opportunity to go for. And I've noticed this a little bit in my life at the moment. New people are starting to contact me and approach me now that I've started this channel. I'm speaking to somebody later today who's interested in learning about non-dual tarot, and then somebody else who just randomly felt like they wanted to reach out and connect with me. So yeah, it's just when we need to put ourselves out there, and then when we do that, other people are inspired and want to connect, and then that might trigger a new inspiration in them and a new relationship and a new opportunity. So we never know what's around the corner, and we should just follow our prompts whenever they come up from the Spirit, because it can lead to lovely things. The Empress. So the Empress, yeah, this card comes out, I find this card comes out a lot. It's all about being creative and receptive, being very much in our flow state, very much in our feminine energy, yeah, so often in cards, the Empress is shown as being pregnant, which is a symbol of rebirth, about birthing something new into creation, and the fact that we're always evolving and going through cycles. I also see the Empress as a symbol of our own wholeness and our radiance, and just being our best self in the world, going out and shining our light, which can be in many different ways. Sometimes it might be helping someone, sometimes it might just be smiling at somebody, or helping them. It happens in so many different ways, or it could be just by inspiring somebody, just by something that you do. We never really know who's watching. And I think I've mentioned this before in a previous video, where sometimes we hold back from doing something or saying something because we think it's too obvious or it's too simple, or coming out of the closet about having love for God. I was talking to someone the other day, and they were saying, oh, I have a friend who doesn't believe in God. But the thing is, everybody believes in God, because everybody believes in, or everybody wants love. Everybody wants acceptance and to feel valid, which is essentially what God is. But we have such a distorted perception of what God is that we think we don't like God, but that's absolutely not true. There's not a single person on this earth that wouldn't like God if they knew what God truly was, because what God truly is kind of completely phenomenal, beyond our human comprehension. And the more we learn this, the more we can share it with others and radiate it out. And I find that it's nice to see lots of women, because of the more feminine energy coming out in the world, because it's been suppressed for a long time, and more females are like coming out and expressing themselves more, feeling safer to do so. And it is very empowering for everybody when women do this, when they take their power back. So yeah, the Empress is a powerful symbol of our expanded nature, and how as we purify the mind, we become more loving and open, and then it just brings goodness to the world and to ourselves. The Three of Pentacles. I think this is probably one of my favourite cards. I've mentioned this before. The Three of Pentacles is all about teamwork and collaboration, which is something that we all like, especially when we're collaborating on something that we both love, something that means something to whoever's collaborating on. And whenever we collaborate, it's always an opportunity to look at the things that are flushed up, to look at the ways in which we're doing well as a team, and the ways in which we kind of want to control things, or we have judgments about other people, letting the team down, etc. But the Three of Pentacles card is usually about a team that works well together, that communicates well, that is very well balanced, that values everyone's input. And yeah, it's really powerful to think that everybody is actually divine. Everybody has the same power within them. And it may seem suppressed to various extents, but when you allow people to relax and be themselves, then that light, that inner light, is going to shine through more and more. And I like to draw that out of people, and I like to draw it out of myself as well. When I used to work in HR, I used to do interviews, and I used to say to people, because they would come in for an interview and be really nervous, and I would sit them down and say, I appreciate that you probably feel nervous, but I want you to give your best self today. And I want you to just relax and feel comfortable and know that you're not being judged, and I really want you to shine. And yeah, I think that we kind of need to go into the world and have this attitude with everybody, and then we can draw the best self out of people, which is what we want, and it's what they want, and it's what feels best. So yeah, working as a team or just being open with other people is a beautiful thing. The Two of Pentacles. So the Two of Pentacles is a card about managing priorities, managing opposing forces. essentially it's about love or fear. Are we going to choose love or fear? And this can play out in so many different ways. And we master fear through love, not by conquering fear in itself, but just by obliterating it with love. Because we know that fear is false, we just have to shine a light on it and bring love to it, and then it falls away. And I think because we have a tendency to think fear is real, we can go into the world kind of defending in this very defensive stance where we feel as though we've got to conquer something. And to conquer it, we have to knock the other person or the situation down. But really, we're looking to find common ground and to find the balance. And this card here with these two dolphins on reminds me a little bit of the yin and yang card, in that we're always trying to balance the energies within ourselves and within transactions and things that we have with other people, interactions we have with other people. So yeah, the Two of Pentacles card can also be about being adaptable and flexible and shifting our perception and just following our inner guidance. Because from the ego perspective, it can seem as though we have loads of priorities to juggle and we never know which one to go for. That's because when we think with the ego thinks in a very convoluted way. And because the ego thinks in a fragmented way, it's just not possible to do the right thing without having the Spirit's guidance, without having that guidance from within. Otherwise, we're just kind of running around and doing whatever seems most important, or whoever shouts the loudest. And that's not the most guided way of being, and it just kind of leads to stress. So it's remembering to always come back to the stillness and ask the Spirit, or we just know internally when we slow down what comes next. It'll come through in the mind. And this card is a powerful reminder to do that in all circumstances. The Page of Cups. So the Page of Cups is a card of like innocent enthusiasm. The Page of Cups is very in touch with his feelings. I kind of think of the Page of Cups as being very childlike and curious, very imaginative, very sensitive, just very innocent and sweet. So yeah, this is a beautiful card, and I love animals anyway, but to see this little bird on, I think it's a capybara's back, is beautiful. I'm just trying to see what else is in this picture. I can't see what it is, but yeah, there's also the lotus flower, and we know that lotus flowers grow out of the mud. So the Page of Cups just has that kind of keen, very open, expansive, trusting state of mind that it's nice to be in, because we feel very open-hearted and open-minded when we're in this state. Which, yeah, is nice. It's very expansive, and it's comfortable connecting with other people and opportunities. Just kind of open-heartedly goes towards something, and trusts that it's going to play out well, which is beautiful. The Fool. So this kind of ties in with the last card. The Fool is the character. So in the tarot, the Fool is classed as 0. It's part of the major arcana, but also not. It's the character that we are, or that we seem to be, and the journey that we go on from being very trusting and carefree as a child and having all these big ideas and not seeing any barriers. And then we go through life and we listen to people saying, oh, you know, that I think you need to be a bit more realistic, etc. But that's always the ego speaking and squashing us, because we know that all things are possible to God. So what is realistic? Realistic is any idea that we have or any joy that we have, we can just channel it. We can take risks in this state because we're not attached to things, whether they're successful or not successful. The little saying, sometimes you win or sometimes you learn, is a great saying here. And when we're not protecting our ego, we can be very open, very trusting, and just go out into the world and seek adventures and not attached to things. So yeah, the Fool goes through the major arcana and the minor arcana. And the major arcana are kind of major events and archetypes in our human experience, and the minor arcana are just our day-to-day things that we go through in each suit as we master the mind and the heart and follow our purpose and live in the material world. The King of Pentacles. I love this card. Absolutely stunning. Yeah, the King of Pentacles is very abundant, very stable, a powerful leader, very responsible and generous, disciplined and good with resources. So I like to think of this card as somebody who's just aligned with abundance, with material abundance. But to be aligned with material abundance, we need to be aligned with our trust and flow from the inside. I remember someone once saying to me that abundance comes from the state of being which includes feeling safe, secure, worthy and deserving. And the King of Pentacles definitely feels all of these things. And we can see, this is just a really sweet picture where the king just looks very gentle and very abundant, very grounded, very at one with nature, and just very content and colourful. And there's lots of other little animals teeming around it. So yeah, this is a very grounded and comfortable state to be in. And the last card out is the Star. Which is gorgeous. So we know that the Star is the card about healing and hope and trust. It's a state of optimism and feeling very courageous, understanding that healing is gradual and so is growth. So when this card comes out, we can see the light, and we feel very inspired, and we have strong belief in ourselves, and we're definitely aligned with our destiny. So yeah, the Star is a very inspiring card towards the end of the major arcana, and just means that we're very much on our path. We're on the right path, and we're never really off the right path, but our mind is in the game, in the healing game, in the game of love. So yeah, I think that was a sweet reading, and these cards are very beautiful. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you. Bye.